City Hall that the Red Flex proposal is to allow Winchester to piggyback on their contract with another Virginia city. In the interest of transparency and full disclosure to the citizens of Winchester, I call on you to make that Red Flex proposal completely public so these citizens know what is involved. Whether or not Winchester accepts a proposal from Red Flex, we need to know what is being considered. Another point, some commentators have said that this is a very limited surveillance because only license plates, not the occupants of the cars, are photographed by the cameras. Well, it is surveillance. First, all automobile movements are recorded, not just those running red lights. Second, this information is stored for an indeterminate amount of time. Third, in addition to be stored by the city, those records are stored by the corporate contractor. That certainly is the case with Red Flex, a foreign company. And fourth, as a result of the exposure of the NSA's surveillance programs, we now know how Washington pressures corporations into playing ball with them. So it's no longer just a personal or local matter. Is this far-fetched? Is it conspiratorial? Let me tell you what is happening in California. On June 26th of this year, the San Francisco Chronicle reported on the use of license plate cameras in California. Quote, at a rapid pace, mostly hidden from the public, police agencies throughout the state have been collecting millions of records on drivers and feeding them into intelligence fusion centers operated by local, state, and federal law enforcement, unquote. The San Francisco Chronicle goes on to quote a noted computer security consultant. With this technology, he says, government can tell, quote, who your friends are, who you hang out with, where you go to church, and whether you've been to a political meeting, unquote. And that's just from license plate surveillance records. I am not accusing the Winchester Police or City Council of having that kind of drastic surveillance in mind. The point is that our license plate surveillance records could also be in the hands of an outside corporate entity susceptible to pressure from Big Brother. The way to avoid having Winchester play a role in the spying is to avoid all surveillance programs in the first place. We may not be able to do much directly and personally to stop Big Brother in Washington, but we can do it in Winchester, and we must. I call on you to vote no on any kind of proposal to authorize traffic surveillance cameras in Winchester. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person that signed up is John Atlin. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is John Atlin. I live at 506 West Clifford Street. It's at the far west end. I am opposed to Winchester passing an ordinance to create City Code Section 1415, photo monitoring systems to enforce traffic light signals. First, the traffic study cited as the reason for this ordinance is suspect. Red Flex, the company that carried out this study, is not a company on which Winchester can rely, or City Council can rely. This company reported over 300 red light violations in a 12-hour period at the intersections of Pleasant Valley and Berryville and Pleasant Valley and Jubal Early. Coincidentally, or conveniently perhaps, Red Flex also manufactures the photo monitoring system this ordinance supports. This company's former CEO, CFO, and top attorneys all recently resigned in the face of bribery allegations regarding its contract with Chicago, Illinois. According to the March 2, 2013 Chicago Tribune, quote, Chicago's embattled red light camera firm went to City Hall on Friday in its latest effort to come clean, acknowledging for the first time that its entire program here was likely built on a $2 million bribery scheme. Do you, Winchester's police, do Winchester's citizens really want to do business with such a company? Don't take my word for it, however. Perform your own Google search. You can either Google Red Flex, and you can see for yourself what the fourth or the fifth hit is, or you can Google search Red Flex bribery and see the hits for yourself. Red light cameras also have legal and practical pitfalls. It is my understanding that photograph violators would be mailed notification that they broke the law. With this approach, photograph violators are free to ignore the citation. State Statute 19.2-76 says, and I'm quoting, However, if the summons is served on the entity by delivery to a registered agent or any other agent who is not an officer, director, managing agent, or employee of the entity, such agent shall not be personally subject to penalty for failure to appear as provided in State Statute 19.2-128, nor shall the agent be subject to punishment for contempt for failure to appear under this summons as provided in 19.2-129. According to the 2005 VDOT report, Appendix H, the red light camera law, quote, ultimately requires personal notification, which may prove prohibitively expensive for some jurisdictions. According to the proposed ordinance background, WPD officers would have to hand deliver, and this is just for that 12-hour period in the study, over 300 citations for any potential fines to be collected. How does City Council want its police officers to spend their time? Patrolling the streets or delivering 300 of these citations? That's really for you. Further, in the People of the State of California versus Thon Chen, the court determined that because the defense wasn't able to cross-examine testifying witnesses on any of these issues, and because the absences of witnesses who could have testified as to the facts underlying the Red Flex packet, appellant Sixth Amendment rights were violated. And you have the citation for that.
Ollie?
Facts. A 2005 report carried out by the Washington Post, take them for what you believe, reported that the intersections monitored by red light cameras accidents increased 81% between 1998 and 2004, and that was published in the Washington Times on May 22nd. According to 2007, VDOT, Virginia Department of Transportation Research Council reported crash rates increased 12% after red light cameras were installed, and there was a 27% increase in rear-end collisions. According to VTRC 07-R2, quote, the study did not show a definitive safety benefit associated with camera installations with regard to all crash types, all crash severities, and all crash jurisdictions. The similar data from California, Michigan, Florida, North Carolina, Ontario, Canada, and even Red Flex's home of Australia all point to the same conclusion. And again, you have my citation.
Mr. Applin, can you conclude?
Sure, this is my last part. I ask you to see through the sales pitch to the reality underneath. Red light cameras, while permissible, are also legally questionable. The evidence indicates red light cameras don't make driving safer, they make it more hazardous. I urge you to reject this ordinance.
Thank you.
Thank you for your